Mr. Godrej, we've been talking about this currency all through this year, and there is this threat that looms large that that Federal Reserve will start unwinding its bond buying program. You're still seeing quite a bit of robust money coming into the equity markets. How do you see the weakening rupee in the context of tapering? Is that something that sort of is on the mind of the market, you would think?
Well, I think all developing country currencies have depreciated.
That's right.
Most, I shouldn't say all. All the countries which have had a current account deficit have been badly hurt. There are a few countries like Bangladesh, Nigeria, which have a current account surplus, and their currency hasn't depreciated at all, in fact. So I feel this is a phenomenon in the developing world. I think the country will take it in its stride. Some of it clearly was required to compensate for the differential interest rates between the US and India. But I think it was overdone. When it went to around 70 rupees to $1, I think it was clearly overdone. I think the Reserve Bank should have intervened and controlled it. I think at around the 60 level, I think the country will be able to manage it. Of course, certain sectors which are export-oriented will do very well, and other sectors which need to import a lot or need to borrow a lot in foreign exchange may be hurt a little bit. But overall, I think the economy will take it in its stride around the 60 level.
Mr. Devasthari, is this the new normal for the currency? The factors that are there, global factors that are there, and the current account balance that sort of has made the rupees, zigzag quite a bit this year. Is that over for now?
I don't know whether it is over. It is still a very volatile kind of a situation, and it will depend on 2-3 factors. First factor is, of course, the oil prices.
Right.
How they are going to behave, because we are going to import a lot, and therefore that, fortunately, in the last few months has been quite stable, and that has helped. Secondly, I think overall policies of the government in terms of exports, because a weak currency should certainly help the export industry, and we have seen some improvement in exports over the last few months.
Sure.
And if that continues, and with the development or the growth in US and other markets, if the software exports or some of the services sector industries, they do well, probably we will get some more inflows. The last point is, of course, we have to see how this gold demand, which has been currently curtailed, is managed well going forward. So these 3 factors, because the oil demand, gold, and drop in exports, that has actually accentuated this depreciation of rupee. Of course, the external factors have also contributed a lot.
Right.
If these things are managed, probably we will see a stable environment in the immediate future. I'm not suggesting, therefore, that the rupee will not depreciate, but probably it will be a slow and steady depreciation, not necessarily what we saw a few months ago.
Connected to the exchange rate of inflation, Mr. Godrej, we are seeing both wholesale and retail prices at elevated levels. The RBI has said it time and again, saying that this is not. So are we going to be stuck in the zone of high interest rates, high inflation for a while? And this is the point that Mr. Devasthari was making, saying that how nobody seems to be giving growth a chance.
Well, I think to expect inflation to go to a very low level is unrealistic.
Right.
But I think we can contain wholesale price index based inflation to around 5-6%. But to expect it to go below that will be unrealistic. Consumer inflation is higher because it has much more food content in it. And we must realize that food is such a much bigger part of our consumption basket than it is of the developed world or even some of the other developing countries. That's why our inflation rates are much higher than other people's, because food inflation has been relatively high across the world.
Sure.
Now, as far as the rupee is concerned, I think we didn't handle it well. There was a lot of speculation against the rupee, otherwise it can't suddenly depreciate to such a large extent. The speculation was obvious. And I think it was not that we had only $50 billion of reserves, we had $250 billion or more of reserves.
Right.
We should have used some of it to prevent the rupee to get to that 70 level.
Sure.
I think that was badly handled. I think one of the reasons why I am a little more confident of the future is that we will have much better Reserve Bank management in the future than we did in the past.
Will Governor Rajan be the Superman who is already at least claimed to be one, that he is going to manage the currency a lot better, or at least offer solutions in the near term?
Yeah, we are certainly in a better position to handle the situation than we were.
I didn't expect you to say otherwise.
Than we were in July, August. Let me complete. Dr. Raghuraman Rajan's entry, of course, is that the way he articulated his thoughts, proactiveness, and very frankly laying out his clear ideas, that itself has, I think, has taken the market quite ahead. And we are seeing quite stability coming in the market, and rupee is very much within the range expected. Ultimately, of course, rupee will always take the level as is driven by the market. But as Mr. Godrej said, RBI and Government of India are in a better position to handle the entire situation. So we don't have to unduly worry about the volatility, though it may happen within the defined range.
Sure.